Hey there, little mortal. You made it back. Curious, foolish? Doesn't matter. You'll fit right in. There's an island in the middle of the Indian Ocean where time stopped. No phones, no planes, no outsiders, and anyone who tries to say hello dies before they finish the sentence. This is the story of John Chau, the man who thought he could change that silence. Spoiler, the island had other plans. Before we dive in, hit like and subscribe. It won't save your soul, but it might save your algorithm. November 2018. While you were doom-scrolling and arguing with your Wi-Fi, John Allen Chau, 26, fit, outdoorsy, and painfully optimistic, was packing for what he called the most important trip of his life. He wasn't chasing money or fame. He was chasing a mission, straight from God, or so he believed. He truly thought he'd been chosen to bring Christianity to one of the last untouched tribes on Earth. A few hundred people living like time forgot them. No power, no roads, no Wi-Fi. They don't even make fire. They borrow it from lightning. To most of us, that sounds like a nightmare. To them, it's paradise, and they want absolutely nothing to do with the rest of us. The Indian government made it official. It's illegal to go there. But rules are just suggestions when you think God's your travel agent. So he did what every great bad idea starts with. He found two locals willing to help. He paid a pair of fishermen to take him close to the island. The fishermen weren't thrilled. The last time someone went near that island, people died. But rent doesn't pay itself, and John looked too confident to argue with. He told them it was God's work. They told him it was suicide. He smiled anyway. You'd think that'd be the part where he turns around, right? Yeah, me too. So they sailed off, the island waiting ahead, black and silent. When the sun rose, John asked the fishermen to take him closer. They said no, too risky, too close. So he grabbed his Bible, a kayak, and paddled out alone. The island was still. Then the tree line shifted. Someone stepped out, face painted yellow, bow in hand, screaming in a language no one on earth could translate. Then more of them. Voices echoing through the trees. John raised his hand and shouted, "I come in peace." The arrows flying to him shouted back, "We don't." They sliced through the air around him. John turned that kayak so fast he nearly invented a new Olympic sport. He made it back to the boat, shaking but alive. The fisherman told him to stop. John just smiled and said he needed a different approach, because when the island literally tries to kill you, the logical thing to do is come back for round two. Later that same day, John decided to land farther down the coast, away from where they'd seen him before. He paddled until the trees looked different, then ran the kayak aground and stepped onto the sand. The same group of people stood there, painted in ash and yellow, motionless, watching. No movement, no arrows, just silence. He called out again, careful, hopeful. "My name is John, I'm here to..." Before he could finish, a kid raised his bow and fired. The arrow hit John's Bible. Using that Bible as a shield was God's way of saying, "All right, buddy. But this is the last time I save you." If that's not divine feedback, I don't know what is. He got out of there as fast as he could, dived into the water and swam for his life. It was almost a mile back to the boat, and arrows hissed into the waves behind him. He left his kayak and Bible behind. The only thing he came back with was the knowledge these people wanted nothing to do with him. And honestly, can you blame them? The next morning, John told the fisherman he was going back one more time. He said to drop him off near the island, then come back the next day to pick him up. They begged him not to. They'd seen enough. But John smiled and said he'd be fine, that this was God's will. So they did what he asked. They took him close to shore and turned the boat away. That was the last time anyone saw him alive. When the fishermen returned the next day, they stayed far back, afraid to get close. At first, the beach looked empty. Then they saw movement. The same yellow-painted figures walking along the sand, dragging something, a rope. And at the end of it was John. He wasn't moving. The fishermen turned the boat around in silence and left the island behind for good. Here's the thing, little mortal. The Sentinelese aren't monsters, they're survivors. Decades ago, researchers actually made peaceful contact. They started small, floating coconuts across the water, simple trades, no aggression. Week after week, they got closer. Eventually, the tribe even waded out to meet them, smiling, taking the coconuts like it was Christmas morning. For a moment, it looked like a miracle. Then the coughing started. A tiny virus, harmless to us, tore through the island. Most of the tribe died, generations erased in weeks. That's when they learned the hardest truth humanity has to offer. Contact kills. Since then, any outsider means death, not because they're evil, because they remember. We bring cameras, diseases, and good intentions. They bring arrows and boundaries, honestly. I know which side I find smarter. After that, the Indian government made it official. North Sentinel Island was closed. No tourists, no drones, no research trips, no influencers with a dream. They marked a 5-kilometer exclusion zone around it. Cross it, and you're breaking the law. Not to protect us from them, but to protect them from everything we drag along, even nearby tribes. The ones who've moved on to metal tools and satellite TV won't go near the island. The Sentinelese don't trade. They don't talk. They don't care. They live like our ancestors once did. And honestly, they might outlive us. John Chau left behind journals, pages filled with faith, fear, and stubborn hope. He wrote that the arrows were love from God in disguise, and told the world not to blame the islanders if he died. People still argue about him. Some call him brave, some call him reckless. Maybe he was both. But here's the truth, little mortal. Curiosity and foolishness are cousins. One discovers new worlds. The other dies trying. The Sentinelese didn't need saving. They already knew how to survive. It's the rest of us who keep confusing persistence with wisdom. Curiosity makes humans climb mountains, dive into caves, and apparently paddle straight toward murdery beaches. So what do you think? Curious? Or just foolish? If you made it this far, you're officially part of the brave. And tell me in the comments, reckless little viewer, what kind of story do you want next? I'm listening from my grave, and don't do anything I'd narrate later.